discussion of the Dubli compensation plan. My name is Brian McIntosh. I'm going to take you through the Dubli comp plan in a way that it's probably easiest if I just draw it out for you. That's the way that I understand it. It's the way that we've had success teaching it to this point. But just understand that in Dubli, on the compensation plan side, there's front-end compensation, which is the monies paid to you for your team building efforts. And then there's back-end compensation, which is the customer commissions and the residual income from shopping and travel. Okay? And so we're going to talk about right now the back-end income. This is the foundation, by the way. This should be what we're all striving after. I mean, it's great to earn money for team building efforts, and there's a lot of money to be made there, and we'll talk about that in the other video. But in this one, we're going to talk about the reason why we want to build a massive team, because that massive team is going to bring in massive numbers of customers, and it's those customers that are going to create a long-term, lasting residual income. And Dubli is one of the only programs that I've ever come across where the income truly is residual. And the reason for that is because Dubli, as a company, worldwide, has about a 400-to-1 ratio of customers to builders. And so what that means is, if your team is representative of the international average, if you built a team of 100 people, that would give you 40,000 customers. That's pretty awesome, right? If you built a team of 1,000 people, it gets 400,000 customers. So those are significant numbers. And what that means is then if somebody leaves your team for some strange reason, we don't have a lot of that going on, but if it does happen, then they don't take the revenue with them because they're only one of the 400 customers that that business represents or that that builder position represents. And that's why Dubli is so attractive, and it's bringing in leaders from just everywhere right now. I mean, top 6- and 7-figure income earners from other companies are flocking into Dubli because of this concept right here, this back-end income that truly is residual in nature. So let's talk about how it's earned. First and foremost, the back-end income is the income that's generated from customer acquisition, from Dubli.com users, okay? So we'll put here Dubli.com users, okay? And the back-end income is generated from something called commissionable revenue. And you've heard this phrase, commissionable revenue, used in probably every presentation you've heard from Dubli at this point. Let's define it, because there's some confusion as it relates to commissionable revenue. So commissionable revenue is a percentage of the total sale, not to include tax and shipping, agreed upon by the merchant or the vendor or the retailer, the store, basically, and Dubli corporate. Okay? It's a percentage of the total sale agreed upon by the merchant and Dubli corporate. It's part of their contract. And Dubli has over 4,000 stores. And the commissionable revenue percentage for each of those 4,000 stores is going to be different. It's going to be unique for every one of them. It's also going to be renegotiated on a routine and continual basis. You'll see maybe 11% cash back at a particular store this week, and next week it might say 14% cash back. And 3 months later, it might say 12% cash back. Because as Dubli continues to renegotiate these contracts with the retailers, the percentage of commissionable revenue will change, and that commissionable revenue is what drives the amount of cash back that's able to be given to the customer. It also, as a result, drives what we earn. So you've heard commissionable revenue referred to as roughly about the same as the free level of cash back to the customer, and that's because it usually is in the ballpark. If the free level of cash back is 3%, commissionable revenue is going to be somewhere around 3%. It might be 2.5%, it might be 4%, who knows, but it'll be somewhere in that neighborhood. But the true definition of commissionable revenue is the percentage that is agreed upon by the retailer and Dubli Corp, and it's different for every retailer. So there's no way to try to memorize these, or just the best way to explain commissionable revenue is just to tell somebody, hey, that's the percentage that the retailers agreed to pay Dubli for every customer that they refer to them and every purchase that those customers make. Our commissions are based on the commissionable revenue. Okay? So let's talk very quickly about how we get paid on this commissionable revenue. The first way that we're going to get paid on commissionable revenue is on our own customers. Okay? And we're going to make 25%. And that 25% is regardless of whether we have one customer or 1,000, whether we're a team member or a senior vice president. The really fantastic news about this compensation plan on the customer side is that it is truly a level playing field. You're going to earn 25% of subscriptions and commissionable revenue on every customer that you acquire. So just as an example, let's say that someone spends $100 at retailer X. So let's say that's $100. And the commissionable revenue is 4%. Okay? So that would be 0.4 or 4%. Okay? What the commissionable revenue on that purchase would be is $4. Regardless of what cash back the customer gets, you're going to earn 25% of that $4. So your commission would be $1 on a $100 purchase at retailer X if the commissionable revenue were in fact 4%. And so that's what you need to know. On your own customers, you make 25% of subscriptions and commissionable revenue. The second way that we generate income in Dubli is on our team customers. Okay? And you're going to earn between 5 and 27.5% on your team. And that's decided by your position in the company. You earn 5% at the team member level, right? 10% at the team leader, 15% at team coordinator, 20% at sales director, and so on and so forth. But it's not quite as simple as that. The best way to explain it is this. Of this commissionable revenue, Dubli's going to pay 25% out to the person who actually acquired the customer. Then they're going to pay 5% to the team member, 5% to the team leader, 5% to the team coordinator, 5% to the sales director, 5% to the VP, and 2.5% to the SVP. These customer bonuses, or percentages of the commissionable revenue, is what is paid out to each one of these positions. So say, for example, that you are a team coordinator and you've sponsored a team member. And that team member gets a customer, and that customer makes a purchase. The team member earns 25% of the commissionable revenue. You, as the team coordinator, are going to earn the team member, team leader, and team coordinator commissions on that same purchase, because there is no team member or team leader or other team coordinator between you and the individual who got the customer. So this team member now makes 25% on that customer. You are going to make 15%. That's just one example. Let's say, however, that you were a sales director and you sponsored a team coordinator who sponsored a team member. And that team member went out and got a customer. Now that team member is going to earn 25% on their own customer, because that's what all of us earn no matter what. The team coordinator, because there's no team leader and no other team coordinator between them and the individual that brought in the customer, is going to earn 15%. Make sense so far? Now the sales director, because this team coordinator picked up the team member, team leader, and team coordinator percentages, the sales director gets the 5%. So the sales director now is going to earn 5% on that. I'll give you one more example. Let's say that you were a vice president and you sponsored a team coordinator who sponsored a team leader who sponsored a team member, and that team member went out and got a customer. And that customer paid $99 for their VIP for the year. The team member would make 25% of that, because you always make 25% on your own customers. The team leader, because they personally sponsored this team member and there's no other team leader between them, the team leader would pick up the team member and team leader bonuses, so the team leader would make 10%. The team coordinator, because the team member and team leader bonuses were already picked up, the team coordinator would make 5%. But because there's no sales director between the team coordinator and the vice president would pick up both the sales director and the vice president percentages, and in this case, the vice president would make 10%. That's you. So on this $99 subscription, you as the vice president are going to make 10% of that. And this is the back-end residual income that's paid out in Dubli. And it's not difficult to understand. The two main concepts you need to understand is that on your own customers, you make 25% every day of the week and twice on Sunday, whether you have one customer or 1,000, whether you're a team member or a senior vice president. And then know that 5% is paid out to every one of these positions except for SVP, which is 2.5%. So when you look at where a customer comes in and what they spend, you just simply need to know that 5% is going to get paid out to every one of those positions all the way up to you, whether you're the team member, you make 5%, if you're the team leader, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so that's why in the compensation plan, you'll see it talks about you make on your team customers between 5 and 27.5% on the customers that are brought in, because it depends on your position in the company and the positions within the company of the individuals between you and that new customer that were just brought in. And then just to be extra clear and kind of drive home the point, every person you personally sponsor, you're always going to earn all of the commissions due you at your existing position. So if you're a sales director, for example, and you personally sponsor a team member and that team member gets a customer, okay, you're going to earn the team member, team leader, team coordinator, and sales director bonus. You make 20%. If you were a team coordinator who did the same thing, you'd make 15%. If you were a vice president, you'd make 25% on someone you personally sponsor. So if you can remember three concepts, the back end income in Dubli starts to become really clear. The three concepts are: you make 25% on your own customers, you make between 5 and 27.5% on your team customers, and you make on people you personally sponsor, on their customers, what you make all of the bonuses and the percentages that are due up to your position. So if you're a sales director, 5, 5, 5, and 5 equals 20. If you're a team coordinator, 5, 5, and 5 equals 15. A team leader, 5 and 5 equals 10. And that's the back end residual income. Now, if you want to know how to move through the positions, how to achieve the rank of team member, team leader, team coordinator, sales director, vice president, we're going to talk about that in the rank advancement video. So watch the rank advancement video, and that will show you how you move up through these positions. And then make sure also to watch the front end compensation video, or the front end income video, because that video is going to tell you how you get paid on team building. And when you put all these three of these concepts together, you're going to get extremely excited, because there is a tremendous, tremendous amount of income on the table.